Forging horse hooves.
Right now, it has like pine tar and leather and stuff, and I'll put a little bit more of that stuff on at the end, so I'll show you. You'll be able to see what that is. Right now I'm just getting it all cleaned out, and then I'll start paring away the foot. Just kind of see what we have to work with this time. Right there on that medial toe quarter, you can see the remnants of that abscess, and here in a second I'll show you what it looked like when I first found it. Here I'm just kind of cleaning up the frog, and you can see he's got a nice big healthy frog. Kind of an interesting little thing that someone brought up in a comments on one of my other videos. They said they'd never heard of a part of one animal's body that was named after a different animal. I had never thought about it like that. I guess just being a farrier, you always call it a frog, but that is kind of interesting. There's no other animal that has a body part that's named after a different animal. Anyway, just some food for thought. Just getting that foot trimmed up. Just taking just some redness, some bruising, which you can expect with the abscess. But you can see it trimmed off pretty nice. There's not a whole lot left. With that, we'll back up right here. So this is backing up about 2.5 weeks ago. So at this point I had got my hoof testers on there and squoze on his foot a little bit. And right off the tip of the frog I could tell he was pretty sensitive. So I pulled the shoe off, and unfortunately I didn't have my camera on at that time. Honestly didn't think I'd be finding anything. But then decided to put my camera on. So right there where I'm digging, right there, you can see in the white line there's you can see as I squeeze off the tip of the frog there that there's some black gunk coming out of there. So I'm digging at it there, trying to open it up. Because with an abscess, what causes pain is that fluid builds up, pus or whatever builds up, and it doesn't have anywhere to go, and that's what causes pressure and pain. And so if you can get it opened up and let it drain, it'll be relieved. It's kind of like popping a pimple, I guess. But I don't want to get digging too deep and get into sensitive stuff, so I decided to stop right there. And the owner decided, she soaked his foot. She kind of got a dilute betadine solution going there, put it in a bag, and then just dipped his foot in there and let it soak in there. And she was actually already taking a different horse of hers to the vet tomorrow. So after this, she just wrapped the foot up and took him into the vet just to make sure that the vet paired out a little bit. And then about 3 days later, once it was done draining and stuff, she called me and had me put this pad on that you can see in these pictures. And under that pad, we put some of that rate hoof packing that I'll show you later on. Just covered it with that plastic pad just so no other dirt and debris could get into that little pocket there where the abscess was. And you don't want to go covering up the abscess hole before it's done draining. If you do that, you're just going to clog it off again, and then it's going to start building pressure. So when I put that pad on there, it wasn't draining anymore. We just needed to keep it from getting infected again. Anyway, that stuff's called rate, and I tend to like it. It's economical and gets the job done. So. And this stuff you see me putting on right there, that stuff's called Durasol, and I really like that stuff. It's kind of claim to fame. I mainly use it for thrush. It kills bacteria, but also the ingredients of it harden up the sole of the horse, hence the name Durasol. But basically it just hardens up the foot real good. And so I stuck that in, kind of tried to squirt some in the abscess, little space there. Try to get that to harden up and also kill any bacteria. You can tell I like it. I just kind of squirt some on the frog a little bit just for good measure, I guess. Here I am just getting that shoe shaped up. That works real good. I like this one I'm shoeing cold every now and then. I shoe hot if I need to, or cold. And the way I'm doing it right there is kind of my preferred method at the moment. Just have my stall jack right there. I stay underneath the horse if the horse is okay with the pounding sound, and I can just shape it up real quick, and I don't have to make a bunch of trips back and forth to the horse. So now that I have the shoe shaped the way I want it, as you're shaping it, you kind of tweak it and bend the branches of the shoe. So I'm just making sure it's good and flat right now. Then once I do that, then I can put it on the bottom of my foot and make sure the bottom of my foot is flat and that they match nice and perfect, and then I'm good to go. So right here, I'm gonna get some of that rate hoof packing out of the package there. I use my hoof pick, and that stuff's kind of nasty. It gets all over your fingers and stuff. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little piece under that shoe in the little pocket there that's from the abscess. And the main reason I'm doing that is mostly just to occupy space. I don't want a little rock or pebble to get up under there and start festering and causing problems. Or this will also help manure from getting up in there or whatever. Basically, it's just to occupy space, and it just so happens that this stuff is antimicrobial and that type of stuff, and has a little bit of medication in it. So that's kind of my thinking behind that. And like I mentioned before, you don't want to be plugging up the hole if it was still draining. If it was still draining, I'd want to leave it open so it can drain, because if you plug it up, then you're just going to cause yourself more problems. So this go around, I decided to leave that medial toenail out just because it's right there close to the abscess, and 5 nails will keep this shoe on plenty good. So I don't want to cause any problems or put any pressure on where that old abscess. I'm basically doing a little air squat, and then also on top of squatting in midair, I'm holding up the quarter of a horse. Granted, this horse isn't leaning on me a whole lot, but anyway, so if you're wondering why I'm breathing, maybe while you're watching the video, do a little air squat for 13 minutes and see if you get breathing a little bit. Anyway, like I said, I could probably be in better shape, but like I mentioned in my bio, I'm also a vet student, so I spend probably a little too much time sitting around studying, which plain shoe on, and even when I had the pad on the right hind, on that other hind, I just had a normal shoe because there was nothing going on there. When I first started shoeing, I didn't know if you could put a pad on one foot without putting it on the other foot. In a situation like this, it's just fine, and obviously it's going to be a little off balance, but he wasn't in full work anyway because he was kind of recovering from his abscess, so having a pad on one foot didn't hurt him much. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I mentioned, I'm a vet student, and so I kind of make videos when I have time. So if you want to know when the videos come out, make sure and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified. It's not a certain day of the week or anything. So anyway, have a good rest of your day and appreciate you watching.
Like it? Forging horse hooves? Don't forget to subscribe.